Good morning, traders. It's Monday, January 28th. Taking a look at the charts, we've got the SP 500 on the left-hand chart here. We've got the SP 500 30-minute chart with green bars indicating a little bit of a bull flag here going forward over the last couple trading sessions. This morning, equities and overseas markets trading down about 0.5% or so, more or less bringing the market down to fill more or less this gap into the previous session or 2 sessions ago, the high that we saw. So we are going to see the market gap to the downside. Are expecting some upward bias in the market. It's still, if we look at the daily chart, has been on a very strong move to the upside. It's still a high momentum play, holding and trading above the 5-day moving average with a little bit of a consolidation pattern, but more or less a continuation. If this can find support here, we should start to see it pop and potentially push up into this 2720 area or beyond going forward. So it is still forming this area, this bullish formation going forward. We are into some short-term resistance. I do feel as though if we get a pop, I think we could start to see it chop around and fizzle out and put in more of a consolidation over the next week or so. Taking a look over at the chart of bonds, bonds continue to kind of try and find support as the market's been trading sideways and people getting worried about a pullback. We've seen money kind of flow into bonds a little bit. It's holding its ground, but it is trading under most of the key moving averages, the 20, and kind of oscillating through the 5-day. Looks like it could continue to kind of fizzle out or flatline over the next week or so. Taking a look over at the US dollar, big down day last Friday. We saw a huge gap down in the dollar, continue to sell off, which sparked a huge rally in precious metals. If we take a look over at gold, all the gold, silver, and miners posted huge gains, posting up to multi-week highs there on gold, really showing a strong pop and how sensitive it is to the dollar. If we look at silver, again, big pop in silver as well. Didn't push it to new highs, but brought it right back up into near previous highs. And if we look at GDX, the gold GDXJ, big strong reversal and pop to the upside, has been forming this bull flag. We were looking to see if it was going to find some support, and it looks like it did find. It is a one-day pop based on the dollar. We'll see how it holds up going forward. Overall, we are seeing miners continuing to hold their ground in pre-market trading. And if the equities market starts to increase in volatility, we start to see it chop around with big gaps and it kind of pops and drops. We'll probably see this fearful money move into the precious metals sector as it seems to outperform during weakness in the equities market. Now, if we take a look over at energies, natural gas down 8% this morning. It's gapping lower, testing down near these lows. We've talked about this before. Originally, when we've had this little bear flag forming, we were hoping we were going to get some big drop and flush down at this 280 or beyond level to kind of cleanse the market. It ended up gapping and popping in the opposite direction, but it has fizzled out ever since. A one-day pop, continuing to just kind of fizzle out and move down. We're trading down near these lows, and if we can get a washout low somewhere down into this 280 or 270 area down in here, I think we could be setting up for a pretty strong pop and reversal to the upside. Looking at crude oil, down 2% today. It is trying to carve out a bottom. It's holding up some key moving averages, still trading under resistance. We've got this pivot high over here, and we've got some other, these blue lines are all different significant pivot lines, resistance areas going back in time on the charts. So we are kind of getting up here where it's pushed up, sold down, popped to a nominal new high, sold back down, and looks like we've got some more selling today. Overall, our short-term 30-minute chart shows we should be on a downward bias for most of the session today, and we could see it pull back. The question is it going to find support above $50 per barrel, which is around the 20-day moving average and these lows over here? Or are we going to pull back a little more significant and down into this 46, 48 area going forward? So we'll see how things consolidate. Overall, crude oil has been on a huge sell-off, and it could form a bottoming formation and eventually start to break through these blue lines and start to rally up into the mid 60s going forward, which I do feel as though commodities are going to, or they already are, but will continue to outperform the equities market and start to perform very well while the equities market chops around. Anyways, that's it for this morning. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.